It is Sunday the 8th of June 2014. It is Flower Communion at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. And I am outside the Unitarian Church of Montreal protesting against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy in what Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Deborah Pope Lance long ago described as my alternative spiritual practice, and what Reverend Gail Seavey more recently described as my prophetic work. So these are two Unitarian Universalist ministers who understand that what I'm doing in terms of my protest is in fact legitimate, that it is a form of spiritual practice. It's actually a religious practice, and according to Reverend Seavey, it is prophetic religious practice in the sense of warning and decrying serious problems with the Unitarian Universalist religious community. And one of those problems, by no means the only one, is that there's an incredible culture of cover-up and denial of clergy misconduct, of clergy abuse, both sexual and non-sexual clergy misconduct. Yes, it is true that the Unitarian Universalist Association has admitted to these things. It has set up various policies and procedures and so on that supposedly are intended to deal with these things. But the fact of the matter is that these policies and procedures are often completely disregarded by the UUA. They do not enforce them. They turn a blind eye to all kinds of clergy abuse, clergy misconduct. They play it down, they minimize it, and then to make matters worse, they go after the clergy abuse victims or the clergy abuse whistleblowers, trying to intimidate them into silence. And that has certainly happened to me. I'm aware of it happening in quite a few other cases. And in my case, Unitarian Universalists have been trying to cover up and hide clergy abuse, clergy misconduct for as long as I've been speaking about it. I've been permanently banned from posting comments to the Unitarian Universalist Association's various online forums and so on, email listservs for talking about clergy abuse and so on, and some other injustices and abuses. I've been permanently expelled from the Unitarian Church of Montreal for protesting against the anti-religious intolerance and bigotry that I encountered here, and related non-sexual clergy misconduct, specifically insulting and defamatory attacks on me on the part of Reverend Ray Drennan, verbal and psychological abuse on the part of Reverend Ray Drennan, and other abuse of power by Reverend Ray Drennan. But more recently, just over 2 years ago, the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations in Boston hired Stikeman Elliott Barristers and Solicitors litigation lawyer Maître Marc-André Coulombe to accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel in an effort to cover up and hide some serious clergy sexual misconduct. I received a arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letter by email on the 1st of June of 2012, and in that email, amongst other highly questionable accusations, Maître Coulombe accused me of making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. And he went on to say that these allegedly unfounded and vicious allegations were defamatory, and that in fact they were so defamatory that they constituted the crime of blasphemous libel against the Unitarian Universalist religious community. So this is a ludicrous claim, really, because the pretext for accusing me of blasphemous libel, the pretext that I had made unfounded and vicious allegations about Unitarian Universalist ministers engaging in pedophilia and or rape is false. It's simply not true. I have in fact blogged about a few cases of pedophilia and rape, but the Unitarian Universalists that I blogged about were actually convicted of these crimes and went to jail for them. These are not unsubstantiated rumors that I've blogged about, although I've certainly heard plenty of those. These were cases where Unitarian Universalists were charged with rape and or pedophilia. They were convicted of rape and or pedophilia, and they went to jail for engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. And the blog post that I published said that very clearly in the blog post, that these people were convicted, they went to jail, so it is just ludicrous that Stikeman Elliott Barristers and Solicitors litigation lawyer, Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe, on behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Association, should try to pretend that I've made unfounded and vicious allegations about Unitarian Universalist ministers engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, when in fact I've been telling the truth about a few cases. And in fact there were other cases that I had not blogged about. There were other cases of Unitarian Universalist ministers being charged and convicted of either pedophilia or rape. There were cases of Unitarian Universalist religious educators, also known as Unitarian Sunday school teachers, being convicted of pedophilia and rape. In fact, there's a case of a Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teacher who adopted a young boy and basically raped him for a period of years that I hadn't even blogged about. So this is just incredible perversion of justice on the part of Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations in an attempt to cover up what most people would consider to be some fairly serious perversions. So it's kind of ironic that the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations perverts justice to cover up perversions. So that's pretty well it. We have the slogan here, Unitarians misuse blasphemy law to cover up clergy abuse. This, I wasn't specific about what they were trying to cover up in this slogan, but I have another slogan down the other end that is more specific and clearly states that they try to cover up pedophilia and rape. And then I have another slogan here that references flower communion and the fact that the cease and desist demand letter had all the effect of hitting me with a flower. On that note, we'll wrap up this little monologue.